Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome to the Texas Ticket. This is Armando and Hoffie Ferreira.
Yeah, buddy.
We're going to go straight into the business.
Dude, I'm excited about this one, man.
Jerry Bernhardt's here today from Bernhardt Winery. And man, he is walking in the door.
He's got a bag with him, man. What are you taking studies on?
Enjoy the Texas Ticket today. We're going to get going.
All right, let's go.
Fire started. Came Jerry. Welcome back to the Texas Ticket.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm with Hoffie Ferreira and Jerry Bernhardt from Bernhardt Winery.
Hey guys, it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon, to be joining and sharing all about Texas here in the Texas Ticket. It's an awesome show and just a great promotion thing that you guys got going on. So
Thank you.
I'm glad you came. We don't get too many, premium celebrity guests like yourself.
Yeah, I was about to say.
The mayor one.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
he's just doing it as a courtesy though, because he helps everybody in this city like he does. Jody just kind of giving us that.
yeah, but he came in with Alfonso. Maybe
He did,
maybe.
Don't want to throw that in there. Yeah, he's a boxing fan and
we have premium wines. I don't know about premium guests, but I'm here to enjoy. We'll see how much. We'll see how much wine we have here this afternoon.
Do you know how many times I've brought up your jump back peach story?
Oh, have you? Isn't that cool?
Time again, I even told
We
him.
talked about it in the car.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
It's like, what guy? The guy that told the jump back peach story.
I'm trying to get that in the encyclopedia, Jump Back Peach. So let's see if we can do that.
It's a real thing.
You guys help me promote it. It is a real thing.
And that's how you make great wine. Great wine comes
So,
from
do you want to
great
tell the whole
fruit.
story? Because sometimes, obviously, somebody missed the story. So.
Well, I asked the question, how do you make great wine? And your response was the jump back peach story.
Jump Back Peach,
Go ahead, tell us about the jump back peach.
Well, the jump back peach, it starts this way, where you go to the grocery store and you go out to a vineyard, but you go to the grocery store and you got two peaches and you're just never quite sure. And you smell them and you think, oh man, this is going to be awesome. And then all of a sudden you bite into this peach and just kind of go, it's kind of mushy and there's not anything there. We've all kind of done that. Then there's this one where you bite into it, and then you kind of jump back because it's all juicy and just falls down your chin. So
And that was the golden rule of great
that's the
great
golden
juice.
rule.
And it's almost like a no-brainer after he says it, and it's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, imagine making wine out of this, no flavor. Then this, oh man, there's all that juice. It's the same thing with a grape. You kind of pop it. Oh,
And
that
it's
was not
got to
good.
be flavor. There are some wines made from dying on the vine, right?
Yep.
Some moldy
Yep.
wines.
Yep.
What are they? The like the ice
Yep.
wines.
Yep.
What other wines they make like that where the grape rots? Almost.
Well, the ice wines, they just let it hang all the way till it's just so juicy and plentiful and just plump, and then the freeze comes right about the same time where they grow. Then there's the ones where you just let them go all the way to almost a rot, and there's a different, unique flavor to those. So it just kind of depends on what you like. There's not many palates that enjoy that one.
Doesn't Farniente make one of those? I think there was.
I stay away from those, to be honest.
They're
with
those
you.
the Oro, the real rich looking whites that look like they're so dark, and I don't know. There's a lot that goes into craftsmanship, and I know you kept it simple for the layman's like us. Grapefruit will make good wine. I'm but
There's a lot of work that goes into it, I'm sure, as well. But they're just selecting the grapes at the right, perfect time and all that good stuff as well. I mean,
all of that stuff. It's all about it. I like to tell this story, too, that it's such a unique business because if you think about it, almost everything you make has a standard recipe. If you make steel, you make it exactly the same as you would every time. If you make Coca-Cola, you remember back in the day, the family changed the recipe and all heck broke loose, right? Okay, so got that fixed recipe. Chocolate chip cookies, sugar's the same, vanilla's the same, chocolate's the same. Grapes, every time you harvest them, they're different. The exact grape grown in the exact vineyard is completely different because of the sunshine, the rain, the soil, the nutrients in the soil. So that same Cabernet this year might be just outstanding, and it might be 10 years before it's that outstanding again. That's what's so different about
Same
it.
place.
The raw product changes every year, and we make it the same. So then our job is to nurture it along and make something outstanding out of what Mother Nature has given us, as well as tend to the soil and try to keep it rich, to try to keep that fresh, that grapefruit growing.
And you can't imagine all the elements that goes into it, the natural elements, and then just trying to control the uncontrollables.
Yeah.
And I mean, you playing Mother Nature, obviously, and it's nuts. So how did you get into it?
That's it goes way back. If you ask for that historic part of it, and that was growing up in the woods of Alabama and harvesting wild peaches, wild plums, wild cherries, wild apricots, and making jellies.
I love apricots.
Yeah.
I love apricots.
Oh, do you?
Oh, apricot jam on everything.
Oh, well, Hoffie, I got a present for you.
No way.
Well, you get a lot of presents today.
Oh,
That's a
dude,
good
but I
day.
share always with you.
Oh, absolutely today.
Hold on.
Oh, my
This
I've had this.
is
It's good. It's super good. Yeah.
This is, I planted apricots back in 2000. I call it my dad's vineyard because when we bought the property, I didn't have enough money to buy anything, and I wanted to start an orchard. So I called my dad, and he said, I think you've lost your mind, but I'll loan you $1,000. So he loaned me $1,000 to plant an orchard, and so there's a poem about this in the book too, but I'm gonna share this with you. I'll open this right now as we get started.
Oh, yeah.
This is an apricot wine.
Well,
that
don't
was
mess around,
harvested
Jerry.
in 2011.
I didn't know you brought the goods.
This sat in a barrel from 2011. I kind of forgot about it till a couple of years ago. I got to, oh my God, it's been in the barrel for over 10 years
We
now.
tasted
so,
it at your Strawberry Chocolate Festival.
Yes,
And
yes.
they tasted it as that with a chocolate truffle of some sort, and I can't remember what it was,
Good.
but I remember I just wanted to. I wanted another drink.
Yeah.
And I was like, can I do this one other time? And they're like, you got to go back in the line. I'm going to need your ticket. Well, if I give you the ticket, I can't get back in the line. And she's like, well,
I'm not leaving the line,
she
dude.
just sat there staring at me for a minute.
Oh, no,
She
yeah.
didn't know what to do. Like, I'm the first guy that wanted to just stand there.
Yeah, I would do the
I
same.
wanted to belly up at the Love Embers section of the show there. And I felt like I felt like I was making him nervous. And Kat was with me. We were in there just drinking it. And you know, one of the things that Robin brought up was that when we went, oh, look at you, your glasses. I'm going to panic.
I'm prepared.
Robin was telling me about some of these festivals we go to that just don't have like there was a blueberry festival that we talked about, and I don't remember where it was, and I probably shouldn't bring it up because it ain't positive. And you had to go down the street to pick the berries.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I thought this festival was a berry festival. I mean, are you disappointed if you go to a blueberry festival and they don't have blueberries?
Oh, absolutely. They're supposed to have
I would be,
blueberries.
right? I mean, I would be.
You bring this one
Got
up a
it.
lot, the Cajun Catfish Festival.
I'm hoping we're motivating and not throwing rocks there because
No, but
I love Cajun food. I want to
thank you,
come.
sir.
I want to come just for that.
Yeah.
you know, and that's coming up. We've got that here at end of September, I believe. For the
Yeah,
Friends
it's
of
coming
Conroe.
up.
Thanks, Jerry.
Oh,
Golly.
my pleasure.
And we were just talking earlier about more Cajun food, and we have more Cajun food restaurants, more Asian food restaurants now that bring on some new flair to the
Yeah.
city. There is an actual Cajun truck down at Temple at Medley.
yeah.
And there's another Cajun place I saw and an actual hard store restaurant that opened up recently here in the city of Conroe. You can look those up, find some.
Yeah.
They need to get involved. You know, they have to take that step. I mean, the city doesn't make anybody
Yeah.
get involved, but when it's your theme, you should get that bell ringing, go sign up, get you a booth. You know, get out there and represent. You know, put some of that Cajun flair down. We just recently got back from a road trip to New Orleans.
Oh, that's
and
beautiful.
Don't
the
even
idea
start,
was-
dude.
it had a lot of soft layers to it. One
Yeah.
was the Cajun Catfish Festival coming up, right? We just want to get our mind right, and maybe we can help out. We even called Mr. Chizowski and asked him if there was something he needed to help out with the festival. We took a diesel down there. We could have loved
Oh, yeah.
anything that the city needs, and so we were like, whatever you need. And that was the first layer. And
Yep.
then the second layer was we have the Mighty Orc Occasion Zydeco player that came in for the Labor Day Festival, so we're thinking we could decor and things like that. And then the third layer was the Voodoo Halloween Festival.
And it's coming up?
Yeah. And Halloween's going to be weird this year. You know, October 31st, I think.
It's on
falls
Monday. Yeah, it's on a Monday.
And that keeps it a little kind of a kid day. Mm-hmm. But what happens Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? Now, I know Steve Miller on the 30th is going to be out there at Bernhardt Winery.
Yes.
That'll be nice.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
I just think what a cool. Is costumes required?
Right. No, not required, but encouraged.
Encouraged. yeah.
Encouraged.
I
And
like
let's have fun. So.
So what costume are you gonna wear?
I don't know. I'm still working on that. I've been a do-it-yourselfer with the kids every year up until this one. So this was my first solo alone New Year's. I mean, not New Year's, but Halloween holiday.
If we do one of these events, we can do a combo, okay?
I've seen some of your past Halloween costumes.
I can be the Hulk. You can be
was
the
a
She-Hulk.
leopard.
Yeah.
You see, he's already going
All right.
hulking.
He's hulked out.
That's a new show, though, dude. You have to go with what's popular at the moment. That's a new show now.
Hulk is not a new show.
The She-Hulk is the new show.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be She-Hulk. You need to
Just,
chill.
you signed up.
No.
I'm not going to be She-Hulk. No, but anyways, back to the
Love
apricot,
Embers.
man.
And this you mentioned apricots. Now I tell me about what it seemed almost port to me. Like
the port is from the oxidation, being in a barrel for 10 years, and then that's going to oxidize. It tends to become port-like, as well as it's fortified. So the port's
those are
my
my favorite.
Yeah, you
that's
can see
a-
the
yeah,
thicker, yeah.
favorite
We're
words.
sitting here at 20% alcohol, so this is got
my
some
God.
nice, beautiful.
Kick to
It's good for you. It's
apricot.
fortified, like your milk.
If you go ahead and get a little sniff, you'll pick up a little bit of apricot on it, and as we taste it, that apricot's just going to come across that palate and then in there, so you'll be able to enjoy.
Yeah.
Dude, that's good.
That bottle disappears so fast.
Yeah.
Right, just go right through that sucker. And be like,
This
what
is-
happened to the love embers, honey?
Dude, this is
There's a book.
so good. So the book is for...
The book is actually, this is a collection of my poems that I started writing over the years there at the winery for the sunsets, toads. So
told you, he's
people
he's
kept
romantic.
asking me to put these into a book, so I finally did. And when I was writing the poem, Jump Back Peaches, it reminded me of the orchard, and it reminded me of my dad loaning me the money for
way.
that.
Aw.
And so that's one of the love embers stories. So I named the bottle. So now I have a name for the apricot wine. We call it Love Embers. So
That's
it's reflecting
awesome.
all
That's
the
great.
love
That
of
is
that
super
family.
cool.
So those are all your poems?
all that captured in there. Yeah,
That's
this
all
is
your
my
poems
poem.
and everything?
And I've got a book for
Dude,
you.
that's cool as well.
That
What are you
is
looking at me
cool.
like that for?
No, it is cool. We just can't see your eyes. So, when I need to put on glasses so you don't have to think about what I'm looking at you like that for.
I've got
What?
one.
Love Embers, you want to look in the eyes?
No, I just
Yeah,
can't
She-Hulk.
I've got one for each of you. If we have time at
Dude.
the end, I might share a poem if you'd like to
Yeah,
end with
please
that.
do.
Yeah. So that's and
That's
although
fabulous.
wine is
Jerry,
this
that's cool. Thank you.
incredible
Yeah, it's too much.
love
I
thing.
appreciate you coming in. Just period. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
you didn't need to
thank
bring
you.
gifts, so we thought we'd had to pay
That's
you. when
all
this was
right.
over.
He actually needs some. He needs some love in his life. Maybe he can get some point.
We're on the radio. That is not true. I'm well loved.
You are well loved, but sometimes we have to give the love as well as receive some, right? So he's gonna
Why are
give
you
a couple
looking
of
at me
points.
like that?
Am I looking at you?
I don't know. I can't tell with those glasses.
Oh man, this is
It's
awesome.
already putting everybody in the mood around here. I mean, dang, it's doing it. It's happening.
When you think about it, that's what the way I approach wine is that it's this incredible love thing that we're putting into a bottle. This is history of farming, growing, and raising.
That's
It's
awesome.
scripture cutting the vines, and you see what you sow, what you prune, and the whole
Yeah.
thing. And wine is something that starts way before you get to this point, because it's
Yeah.
usually 2 or 3 years before it gets to this point.
No
Then it's
way.
nurtured in the vineyard, then it's cut, and then it's pruned, and then there's a celebration.
And we were talking about today about people having doing a job and loving a job.
Mm-hmm.
And you can love a job if you're the janitor. You can love a job if you're doing the worst job, and but taking pride in anything you do. I mean, if you take the job, take the job.
Yeah.
Take the-
Do it right, do it well. And I'll tell you, a lot of people get complacent in time. It brings on a different flavor. Like I start out with that spirit, that tenacity, that entrepreneurship, or whatever, that demeanor, and then time can change that fold, and then it reflects.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like I made maybe a bad business decision or some sort. No, that's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
Your spirit faded, and your energy I know this was 10 years ago, but your energy and your spirit 10 years ago is
so
sitting right here.
But we talked about it as well. Like when we cook in the kitchen, if the guys are happy in the kitchen, the love is reflected in those plates.
It
Remember we talked about it as
absolutely
well,
is.
and it
Yeah.
comes out to the customer.
Yeah.
But again, it's about leadership. If you really can make sure that individual stays motivated, but sometimes you can't change the stripes, right? That's what it
And
is.
a pretty look, like a gorgeous label, matches a suit with a nice book and a great color and a good flavor.
Look at this.
The attention to detail, the suit, it's really nice.
And it's apricots, dude. I love apricots.
I don't see a hurry or a rush anywhere in anything. Not the book, no, the juice at all. And not when I've been out to Bernhardt. I see that time. You can see it. You can tell. It makes a difference. It makes it better.
we focus on
Mine's
Yeah.
gone.
trying to have a.
You had the bigger glass as well.
I did not have a bigger glass.
Yeah, Junkers.
Well, Hoffie, you said the word energy, and I just believe in this universal energy and this flow of energy. And back to the job, that joy that you can reflect in your job. and
Yeah.
the joy that you can bring in people. You put that positive energy out there, it's going to come back and reflect on you. So,
And that's what
Oh my
me
goodness.
and
You
him.
can bottle yours.
you
I
can
mean,
buy, well,
Yeah. But me and you, we were talking as well, like us
chefs,
meeting
one
and
plate at a
no,
time,
but
you know,
when we
or
were when we met as well. I mean, like we just had a quick conversations, handshake and whatnot. But a little bit, we never thought we would turn out to this.
Right?
Cheers.
Yeah. We were just messing
you did
around,
good.
and next thing you know, the next show comes out. Now we're getting robotic, but we always wanted to bring something fresh, and so, and we do that with music, entertainment, friends, people, just get a good rotation of things, and trying to pattern after everything else that's going on in town, and not that a good cover band can't bring that same spirit. I mean, there are bands that have been lost to time, and things that have come and gone. I mean, long after you're gone, I'm sure your wine will outlive
that's
you.
what we hope.
And
That would be a legacy, but yes.
I mean, it's further out the better. But I mean, how many people can say that their work has that echo, that reflect, that second nature, and a lot of homeopathic, biodynamic type solutions come from winemakers and hippies all over the world.
Right?
I like how you
We're planning to the lunar cycle. I mean, there's the fertility horns over the barn. I mean, I'm throwing sage out when I'm nervous. I mean, it's really happening. These things, and I know
really
you know.
happened. Oh yeah.
These they won't let you bring a gas powered vehicle on the property. I mean, if they got a rat problem, they put up falcon nests. They got a winter problem, they put up heaters. Like they're burning wood between the rows. And just doing these kind of solutions. Have you? I know Texas can be a bitter landscape. The terroir, as you put it, and explained to me years ago, is the biggest challenge for winemakers and combating against nature. But have you seen any really cool biodynamic solutions that you've implemented there at Bernhardt that can kind of lay into that?
We're just still trying. The answer to the question is they're very limited what we can and do and what we can find. I mean, folks are still doing all the research that we can, but I think the thing that we're trying to do is be as gentle to the soil as we can. We're replenishing it with as much natural nutrients as we possibly can. Taking the grapes, the seeds, the skins, the things that we have, composting those, and just being gentle and being as fertile as we can with recycling the things that we can do. There are just so many limits on that. But with Mother Nature and composting, the things that we can do there.
That's where I'm at. And mine's 90% coffee grounds, though.
Yeah. Well, I guess the little bit of spray that we do use are all organic based, and that's a really gentle thing that we try to do and add to it as well.
But it's also now just to talk about everything as well. You see the love that goes into it, and people. I mean, that's where we sometimes talk about a good bottle of wine. People go in there and just grab it and say, "Oh, let me just chug it." But if you really know what goes into it, to respect it, to appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome just having you on the segment just to talk about it, because I think people need to know this sometimes. Because, I mean, it's one thing to say, oh, man, I'm going to go get plastered. Let me have a couple of drinks or whatnot. But savor this.
Most folks will savor the wine. You're a chugger.
Say what?
Yeah, you're a chugger.
I got a big mouth, so what?
You drink more and eat more than
Please,
I
second, do you mind if I have a little bit more?
No, let's go.
Yeah, it's driving me to drink.
No. Thank you so much for the
my
chugger.
pleasure. This is,
But
trying to think in terms of your Texas ticket theme. People ask me all the time, kind of how did you get started on this? And we started. I was picking fruit with my mom and dad, and that's when we got to apricots and backed wine because of that tactile experience, wanting to make something out of instead of jelly and jam. But then fast forward to finding out, I was making homemade wine, and somebody said, "Oh, there's wineries in Texas." I didn't even know that was such a thing, really. 30 years ago. So started going and visiting in the Texas Hill Country in 2000. And there were only 36 wineries in all of Texas in 2000. when I opened and got my permit in 05, we were number 95.
Okay.
Now there's over 800 wineries in Texas.
That's
But
what we've
Brian-
been hearing.
Trying to bring it back to the local story. So going out to Fredericksburg thinking, well, I guess I ought to make a winery out in Fredericksburg. But I can remember driving on 290, stretching my neck and thinking, oh, look at that pretty lake. Awesome. It's gone. And I had this vision, this paradigm shift. I said, my God, I just drove past Lake Conroe. There's 2 or 3 openings where I could see it. I didn't even recognize the beauty of my own hometown, thinking I go to Fredericksburg. And in that paradigm shift that said, we are the place right here on Highway 105. Everybody out of Houston. There's more people in Houston. Houston deserves, Conroe, Montgomery County, we deserve to have something of this in our backyard.
That's awesome.
That's how we changed directions, bought property here, and now we're so happy to be, the local
Just to that,
winery
dude.
here.
Yeah, you're not just.
So after 20 years, we're, because of this incredible community and support, we're able to continue to do this.
Well, let's
and
bring it
grow.
back to Texas.
Yeah.
Let's do
So,
it.
there's one thing. Texas has got some plains, right? It's got regions. That winemakers have defined around the state.
Yeah.
The plains. There are several little regions, and some more bona fide or
Why do you say it like that? Bona fide, because he's
with
not.
the right provenance,
Right.
that really you can declare it to
Declare
truly
it,
be a wine
exactly.
area
Yeah.
that even does wine. Whether you raised it there or not, you could. So it has to be,
The
I guess,
certified
declared.
viticultural area declared, yes.
Is
and
it?
established,
There's a
yes.
certification for this sort
Right.
of thing.
There
Okay,
is.
I have no idea. But there are, and as I look into these regions, and I understand that a Texas wine has a parameter to be declared a Texas wine, and
Right.
some of these grapes come from all over the state of Texas, and some may even come from other places for some vintners, and we just trust in the craftsmanship. At the end of the day, it's a good wine, and but what is the amount of percentage, the minimum, the bare bones minimum to say, hey, this is a Texas wine? Say I imported all the rest. They're not from Texas, right? It's not a collaborative of all the plains in Texas. It came from this percentage of Texas and everything else from somewhere else. What's that minimum requirement
Well,
to be a
there
Texas
are a number of different issues floating around with all of that.
Okay.
The TTB, the Tobacco Trade Commission, and their standards, you got to have 80% in a viticultural area to put an area on there. In Texas, if we're trying to Texas, we're very proud of our fruit, very proud of our state, and want to do that. So there's a difference in still a debate raging out there as to what percentage. But right now, if you have a 100% Texas product, you can put a Texas label on your product.
Okay.
There's still some 90%, so there's still an undeclared limit. So I'm not the one to speak most intellectually about the subject as far as the requirements, but there
I'll have to
are.
stop you there. I'll tell you
Yeah.
right now. If you live in Texas for 10 years, you can almost be considered. Would you consider yourself a Texan?
Oh yeah, I'm certainly a Texan. So
whatever's-
I've been here
whatever's
for
in this bottle, whatever's
I'm
in
a
this
Texan,
bottle,
baby.
This
No.
guy took residence for a decade.
yeah.
And from
None
what
of
I've
them.
heard,
You can't call me no
Yeah.
more a foreigner. I'm a Texan.
I never
This
called
is
you
100% Texas local.
either
There
way.
you go,
Either
cheers.
br-
Everything
born and
else.
bred.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's awesome.
exactly. That born and bred Texan. Now, there's
Yeah.
a difference. But I do think a decade would get you there.
Yeah.
I mean, and it has, and so there has to be limits to the Texas capabilities. As far as wine production goes as a state, and versus other states that are real high in agricultural distribution, and aka California's
Right,
prowess
right.
in these just good examples like Chile and France and these places that are just.
I did
the
Mendoza,
golden slopes,
Mendoza,
we don't have
Argentina, and all those
golden
places.
slopes
Yeah.
here.
Well, here's an interesting question. Let me just put you on the spot for just a second. This is a fair spot, but if you were to guess, do you have any idea how many acres would be under vine in the state of Texas? If you were just to guess. I won't torture you, but most folks think 100,000, 50,000, 20,000. In the state of Texas, anybody listening can verify this. There's only 8,000 acres under vine.
Oh, I was going higher.
Yeah.
I would have
I was
been
gonna say,
more.
yeah,
I was
way more.
glad I didn't say that.
8,000 acres. Now, remember, go back. We have 800 wineries. 8,000 for 800
wow.
wineries. Now, let's talk in terms of Bulgaria. I'll give you an idea. Well, let's take this number. There are 29 million people in Texas with 8,000 acres. In Bulgaria, where we've started importing and bringing wine in, there's 149,000 acres under vine and only 6 million people.
And there you go.
So there you go. So the limit of the Texas fruit just makes it in its quality, it's popular, and we're all fighting for this. So that's where the thing
The fight's
that
only gonna
when
get
you
worse.
it's
That's
only going to
nuts.
get worse. But isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're big into producing wines, but we're short in grapes. So the
Yeah,
grape
yeah.
growers are out there going nuts trying to move cotton and move
Yeah.
different lands and different crops to grapes because it's coming with 800 wineries fighting for 8,000.
Yeah.
So
and would you say
it's awesome.
And wine's not that hard. I mean, grapes aren't that hard on the land like cotton. Cotton
No,
burns it up.
it
You can't
does.
even use
It
it the
does.
next term. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You get cotton 1 year, you got to rest for a year. You know,
Yeah.
and then you come back again. But
But we talked about California as well with all the drought and whatnot.
Oh, the droughts, the fires, all of that. It's very significant. Very
yeah,
significant.
I mean they'll change everything. Just like you were saying, one
Yeah.
vintage could be different than the other. I mean,
Yeah.
what was it? Was it 2014 was a real popular vintage year for California.
Yeah.
There was a few that were like.
The solid
Oh,
ones. Yeah.
yeah.
You know, and I'm not sure about how that all, but they didn't have some of the elements that are in play now. I mean, they
Right.
did, but not to the effect it is. But I think there's challenges coming forward, and so many people moving to Texas from the
Yeah.
area that are used to having these wines on a regular basis that will, on their own, seek you out and to consume all our Texas wine.
Well,
Yeah, but that's when you want to knuckle sandwich them as well. Sometimes it's like, yeah, you're going to drink the wine, but you're going to complain about it.
You're getting a knuckle sandwich.
well, one of the things that I'm doing and started years ago is we have I do a growers class in the wintertime, a pruning class and a growing class. And so years ago I started this class and teaching folks, and they would come to the winery, take them out in the vineyard, teach them how to grow the grapes and everything. And I told them then, I'll buy all the grapes you can possibly plant. And 3 people have followed up on that.
Really?
And now we're
Wow,
growing,
that's super cool.
purchasing grapes with our local vineyards here in Montgomery County and Grimes County, all around here. So folks are planting more and more, and we are
That's awesome.
we are driving
I'm gonna
that
get my wife
planting
to go
in
to
that
that.
grape. So
And you do so much Go Texan stuff. You do
Yeah.
all that support, and it seems like that probably be the smallest amount of wine you have, the coveted Texas
that's
wines.
the coveted
you know?
wines that we have our,
yeah.
our
It
state
It certainly
wines.
would
yeah.
be, you know, because they're just, I mean, they're just more wine in other places. I mean, more grapes. I mean,
Yeah.
and I can't call that a Texas wine. I'm getting all from Bulgaria. It's a Bulgarian wine.
Yeah.
As it is, you know, but then there's the Texas wine. Now, I can't say all the Texas wine, like the Aggie Blush. I don't drink blush wine. I don't care what name's on that bottle. It ain't happening. You're not putting anything pink in my glass. You're like, would you like to sample this? No, thank you. Well,
that's
how do you know
not
you don't
being-
like it if you didn't try it?
I agree. Don't be dissing our wine. That's so popular.
I
don't
love
blush.
everything.
All right. All right, blush lovers, don't pay attention to these guys. There's a place for everybody.
Yeah.
Armando.
Yeah.
Let's cut through the. Let's cut the change. We're all drinking. Let me have a sip.
Yeah, there you go. Cheers.
What was the lady's name? You made a wine after a lady. It sounds like Syrah, but it's not. Sarah.
Sarah Bernhardt.
Sarah's
Sarah
the name of the
Bernhardt.
wine,
That's
and
the
it was
name of
named after the lady in the Prohibition.
Sarah
model.
Bernhardt. Yeah.
The Sarah Bernhardt wine, and but there was a backstory that we really liked. That she was in a women's liberation movement in the 20s
Well-
or something like that. And
Well, Sarah Bernhardt was the most famous actress of the during the 1800s up to the 1900s.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the
I'm sorry.
reason for that is there was this transition of technology like today. When the record player came out, she was the most famous singer. So all of a sudden, she was the first on the record player.
Yeah.
There you go.
Then when there
That'll
were
do it.
movies, she was the most famous actress, so she was in the movies. Then when there was talkies, all of a sudden she was in talkies. But my favorite story to tell people about Sarah is how she passed away. She was 82 years old, and she lost her leg from a motorcycle accident in 1920. Can you imagine how crude a motorcycle was in 1920?
Yeah.
So you can imagine what a crazy lady she was on that
Yeah.
on that motorcycle.
At 80?
At 80, so she was on that. So what a crazy lady. So that's great Aunt Sarah. So I had to name a wine after
Is that a
Aunt
Texas
Sarah.
wine?
It's a Texas it's a blend.
It's a blend,
American
okay.
blend,
Yeah.
of our Texas
So
grapes.
and I when he came on the show, I was like, you know, I just don't do it just a straight, you know, this is Jerry from the We Sell Wine.
right.
You know, I was, you know, what is the Texas side of the coin, you know, and the entertainment side of the coin.
Right.
And I know that you're not necessarily a venue as much as you're a vineyard. I mean, you are a vineyard. And the venue is meant to bring people out, that fellowship, come together, drink some wine, get to know the product, and visit with other like like friends, the people with the same interest.
Right.
And you tend to find that in that fellowship. And
Yeah.
I mean, from the wine stop that was everybody's I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
Lucy.
McGillicuddy.
No, it was what's Lucy's wife on the I Love Lucy show? Or Ricky Ricardo. Lucy Ricardo.
Ricky Ricardo.
It was Lucy Ricardo. Yeah, she would always.
Lucy, we have a problem.
Always tearing stuff up, and she did the wine stop one and the chocolate ones were my two favorite
those are
ones.
awesome,
Yeah, she's in that line just eating it. Her and her girlfriend just
Stuffing it everywhere.
it's too much. It just keeps going down the little conveyor.
Are you hungry?
Oh, the whole show. It was super cool, and I really think that what we need to do, what we should do. I don't know what we need to do.
Yeah.
I hope you will. I hear what's coming.
Yeah,
Portable broadcast from after Lucy's grape stop.
Well, we missed that already. It just passed. That great
It
stuff
is, but
just passed.
Yeah.
And this weekend again, the charcuterie course festival.
Charcuterie
There's
festival.
classes and stuff to how to make
Oh,
charcuteries
dude,
and all
I
the
can't even say that word.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff you can put on a charcuterie tray.
I just say
it's that,
cheese board,
and
man.
Actually,
not saying
tasting. We have some of our local vendors that are out there with their charcuterie specialties and their food, each paired uniquely with one of our
that's so
wines.
cool.
So you're going to get to
They
go
do a
in
good
and
job
taste
with that
that.
stuff.
See,
Meet the
man.
vendors. It's a
Because
really
I met
cool
Love
festival.
Embers at the Strawberry Chocolate with chocolates. So
Yeah, I messed it
Yeah.
up because we had to be at the
magic. It
Yeah, I
just
was
started
disappointed,
working. All of
yeah.
a sudden, I was like, I'm appealing. Everything here appeals to me.
Yeah.
But one of the things we saw was a lot of these artesian markets at your place, and they're Texas-based vendors.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I mean, you've got guys out there making their own things, doing their own things, craftsmen and
Spices,
local small
jewelry,
businesses.
food,
Yeah.
clothes,
Super
paints,
fun.
artists of all sorts. It's just
Booths are one
amazing,
thing, and
so.
vendors are always, you
Yeah.
an insurance agent, a realtor, and not here. Not here. It's totally different. So if you're in the in-city vendor style environment and you do that kind of networking, this, it is what it is. But there is a rural edition,
Yes.
and it is out there at Bernhardt, and they have this super. It had a feel. I mean, there was something else going on, and it was different, and I really had a good time. And
Yeah, but we need to go this weekend, man. There's nothing going on now.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the part where by the time when we first met, I was already had like hours on the field there with the booths and drinking. Some hours had gone by. And they're like, "You want to come sit with Jerry? We'll have a few bottles of wine and talk and go." over some. I'm like, man, I am 3 sheets in the window already. I can barely sit up straight. I can do it.
Yeah.
And we did a full tasting too before we sat down with you to drink wine. After I had been drinking the whole time.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's more wine than I should have been drinking. But man, what a great time we had. And,
That's awesome, man.
and Shake Russell was there, and he's coming back again.
Coming back the 18th.
18th.
Who's that?
A country singer, Shake Russell. He from the Hill Country, right?
Yeah.
He's a
One
regular
of the
stop.
most awarded Texas musicians that we have, Texas Music Hall of Fame and everything. Just an amazing entertainer.
And he usually comes with
Michael Hearn.
Michael Hearn. That's
Yeah,
right. And
this
he has
time
the
Michael
Fern
is
Festival.
tied up in towels with his festival. But
He does have a big old festival house. It's outstanding. And so one of the things we thought was maybe to, it's in the works, but I think it should be in the works for September, where we do an acoustic set and get a real laid back atmosphere and introduce some Texas wines with some Texas.
You might as well just say
music
it,
and
dude. Just get it over with.
Go
Over
ahead.
in Walden.
Just get it over with.
Yeah, Walden Lady
Walden,
Dining.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Jeff Canada is our candidate.
Yep.
He loves
Jeff is
acoustic
awesome.
music.
Jeff has been at our place, and
He's been dying to get
opened.
unplugged.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen his music in the back,
Yeah,
and so
he's
it's real
awesome.
laid back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we thought that would be a real nice laid back scene where we could still have discussions, we could still talk, unplug
Right.
him, we
Yes.
could still talk wine, and it's that the room's got such great acoustics, it would
Yeah.
flow well.
Right.
So we thought that whole chemistry made for a wonderful night out. And,
Now we have that already set. What's that date?
September 23rd, 7 to 10.
Are you sure? You good? Jeff said good.
Sir, 7 to 10. September 23rd.
7 to 10, September 23rd.
Jeff Canada.
Walden's Lakeview Diner.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so we actually spoke to him before as well. He had a couple of dates with us, and then
Experience.
we spoke to him and said, "Oh man, do you want to do this?" I actually spoke to him not too long ago, and
Awesome.
said, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do."
Yeah,
So
he's
you
up
might
there.
as well just get the cat out of the bag and get it done with.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. I really
I am too.
Yeah.
Have you you've seen Jeff's music unplugged?
Yeah.
It's like a where he's just his music.
Dude, Pacific Yard House.
He played at our place too. We
Yeah.
opened the season with him. So this
I think
past year, he was
if
awesome.
we unplugged
Yeah.
him, he
was
such a good,
awesome,
just
man.
genuine guitarist, you know, and a good vocalist, and I think he'll be ideal.
Keep it real. What did he say?
Let's
Take the
just
fake out of it and keep it real.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's just, I think, something that we can do to start introducing some of the Texas wines, but I don't think you need any help there per se. I think it's a real treat. And
Yeah.
like we talked about already, it's
Yeah, but it's about neighbor supporting neighbor.
It's-
So
Oh, yeah,
come
neighbor
out there
supporting
and,
neighbor.
yeah.
Absolutely.
it's
yeah,
truly
we're
about
gonna
that,
be there
introducing
and-
those wines to the folks in Walnut and the folks in Bentwater and the folks out on the lake, and getting that just into the community that I assume frequents your place the most.
Right.
No,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we talked about
Yeah.
a seafood and wine festival. It was 2019 because we said there were so many wines that when I started working there in 2018,
Uh-huh.
we said 19, let's start working on a seafood and wine festival. And then bam, obviously you know what happened in 2020.
Yeah.
So we might as well start working on that one now, dude,
That's
and get
awesome
them.
with
Yeah,
them. Yeah,
seafood
yeah.
wine festival out there on the lake, and get you as one of the prime folks out there.
Oh,
and,
we would love to do it.
Yeah.
We're here at
That's
our
nice.
local winery
That's
and
nice.
support everybody.
Yeah.
Be a good way to
friends
sell all
helping
that
friends
pink
and-
stuff.
Yeah.
pink stuff.
Yeah,
with your pink shirt
there
and
are
all.
people out there that like
Hold
it.
on 1 second. Actually, so we talked. So is he hyper local, right?
Oh, it's super hyper local.
Yeah. So I noticed something, and it's not on the table, and I did want to bring it up.
What?
That mom cup.
Oh, Mom.
I'm sure.
The
It's
text-
got, I'm sure
and
it's
that's
got
what's the
sweet
best
tea
part
in
about it. I saw it the whole time, and it's like, okay, we had another person in here. Who was it? Mr. Bainey. And he had a cup.
Sweet tea.
Yeah, my South African-ness came out, obviously, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's sweet tea. He's like, yeah, maybe it's not sweet tea. What is in your cup, sir?
He kept telling everybody that came in here that they
I saw the cup, and I was like, this is a Texan, right?
You shouldn't ask a Texan what's in his cup. He might.
Yeah, that's what I'm
He
saying.
might have bourbon in it. He might.
But
be
I saw
spitting
this
in it.
cup, and I was like, this is an awesome cup. The
This
mom
is my
cup.
mom cup.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be seen in public with the mom cup.
Got a
But it was
Behind
awesome,
the
dude.
scenes.
full blown cocktail going in there.
Yeah, but what's funny is, like, listen to him shake it. You can hear the ice.
I cannot tell a lie, but just better put it over.
Yeah, no, I'll keep it on
Joe,
this
you're
side.
funny.
This is a
Yeah.
Well, on the horizon, anything big coming up that we need to? I know we have the whole holidays coming up, and I know we get all the way to October 30th, and I've already plugged that one on my calendar because Steve Miller's
October
coming out there.
30th. Yeah,
The
that's
Steve
our
Miller
fall festival.
Yeah.
tribute band, and I want to go to that, and I'm excited about that thing. And I don't know how serious he is about going to the charcuterie thing. He's saying
Yep.
it.
I'll do it after I can actually learn how to say charcuterie. Charcuterie. How do you say it?
Try again.
I can't say cheese board, right? Otherwise I get an
I
episode.
like it. I like cheese board too.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. But
I
charcuterie.
do
I'll get it right. No, let's go, dude. I want to go.
I'll go. Yeah, it's in.
I
it's
was
in
practicing
the day.
it at lunch today, coming on here, but that was
Saying charcuterie.
Oh, yeah, no, if I get a couple of these, and I'm going to say it really well with a Texan twang.
Right. This is good. And
Yeah.
being fortified, it has a bit of a higher alcohol.
No, this
You
is
know
good,
exactly
man.
what I meant.
Yeah.
Don't look at me crazy.
No,
Higher alcohol content.
no, this is
Coming up,
awesome.
let's see, we have the awesome bands, and we've extended it into December because now November, December have some of the beautiful weather we used to have in
Yeah.
springtime. So we go all the way up, book some incredible stuff, and that's all online. But I guess what I'd like to mention is that our December 10th is in our Christmas festival
yeah.
with the hay rides, the train
Oh,
rides
yeah,
through the
cool.
vineyard, all the kind of stuff. Christmas caroling. It's
That's
one of the
awesome.
things I love. I actually drive the tractor. We stop out in the middle of the vineyard. It's dark. Get out with a guitar, acoustically play, and sing
Oh,
Christmas
man.
carols and tell the Christmas stories with kids on the hay ride, and their eyes
Eyes
are so
are wide.
big.
That's
but
super cool.
It's just
That's
this,
awesome.
this spring we're adding so many more new things inside and mood festivals. But
Yeah.
we just I'd like to share this if I
Yeah,
could. Folks ask about wine. How do you pick a good wine? And what's the story of picking a good wine? And you got all of us know that when you go in the grocery store, you go in space,
Yeah.
you go wherever. There are millions and millions and millions of wines that you can drink, and to pick from.
Yeah.
What I like to think about well, let's start with the quality of the wine. And you're picking, and if the quality's there, but then you move to the experience. As you've mentioned before, you're even remembering the jump back peach and whatever,
Yeah.
So now you have an experience tied to it. And coming to our place, I believe you develop then a relationship. So if you have a quality wines, a quality experience, then the relationship, as we're talking about, the love that you feel in the bottle. So that's what we're trying to put out at Bernhardt Winery, that joyful experience, that joyful relationship. Let us become
works.
your,
It does
your
a thing.
neighborhood people.
It does a thing.
Then you want to have this loyalty to us, and we provide that, I think, that sanctuary where you can just come out and just hang and just be under those centuries. You've been there.
But you can feel the
Just
genuineness
speak
as
to
well. That's the thing. Because it's
I
one
know,
thing to
very
talk
good.
about the love. You can talk about everything as well. But the connection is something you can't deny. There's going to be a genuineness and say, man, this is awesome because I really believe in it.
Yeah.
And it's such a great break of contrast. I mean, and if you haven't been to the place, I mean, some things some things mature and they get better because they matured.
Yeah.
Like me. And
Like us.
yeah, just like that. But some things get mature and it gets old and it's not as attractive as it used to be. People say that. Now, wineries, they tend to do the opposite. The older they get, the more nostalgic they get. I mean, Antinori, 26 generation vineyard, that pie's ridiculous. You know what I mean? When you look at what 26 generations look like, it's like millions. I mean, they're up there in that count. They don't know all the relatives that were from this vineyard, that in their own family. And they're so disassociated. They're, country, region, they're all over the world. And, they'll have an annual Christmas in Antinori, for example, that their guest list is, if they invited every family member, it's about who's coming. Yeah. And anybody who comes, they treat like family because they don't know their own.
Right.
You could be part of that 26 generations of family, and they have never met you.
No.
But we're related. So anyone it comes in there as a practice, it is automatically a family member.
Right.
And so that's the Italian way. The way. And you got to kind of stick to code because at some point they weren't just doing it for the guest. They were doing it for the family member they didn't know because they were really coming. And they were really coming for these festivals, get-togethers, and it was true family and not a friend or a guest, a paying customer we'd like to call family because it makes it better. But I mean, that wasn't a game. It was... Well, we don't want anybody to get their feelings hurt. We should know Aunt Judy. She's on Tom's side of the family from Cynthia, who is over there in Spain, and she's been over there for 22 years with your Uncle Bob. It's like, what? No, I don't know her.
Well, if you shrink it back to that beginning, we're all family, and that's what's so amazing. So we just try to put out the love, and a little bit of alcohol helps you with the love. And we're all family.
Well, tell us the poem of
Oh,
Judas.
yeah.
Go for it.
You're talking about this earlier,
moment here, and we'll wrap up with something like that.
So there's a specific poem that you wanted to share?
Love Embers. Well, I guess I would love to, if we could take a second. So I guess I ask to put you on the spot one more time.
Yes, sir.
Where, if I were to ask, anybody would ask, we talk about love all the time. It's a big thing. Where does love reside in you individually? Hoffie, where is love? Can you point to it? Where is it within you?
Me specifically? I mean,
You
telling my
specifically,
backstory a little bit, and I know it's probably it could be a short answer, but he knows.
Can I get a drink for this?
Yeah.
So I met my wife, and we knew each other 12 days. And we got hitched, everything, obviously, all our kids, and we've been together now 16 years or whatnot. And we talked about it. So it resides in me specifically. Every time everybody says, how did you know? How did you know this? And how do you know she's going to be the one? And I mean, you used to look at me as well, and everybody feels like I'm the complete opposite of a big teddy bear. But she brings out something into me that is completely just a big teddy bear. You feel the wind, you feel little things that she makes it better. She makes me feel like I could be something completely different than this big ogre / Hulk. And I feel like the love resides in me specifically because of her. I mean, it's a completely different person. I hope this is...
Mine's pretty much right in here, I guess. I kind of feel like that's the answer you were looking for a bit, too.
Yeah, I mean...
and that's a touching story, really. Hang on, we'll drink to that. She's a good one. I like me some Courtney. She keeps him in line. Every time I say something crazy to him, that's exactly what Courtney said. And I'm like, well, good. I like Courtney more and more all the time.
But
I'm on Courtney's side.
And it's
with
difficult
this,
to say. Like, I can say my heart and everything as well, but it's like in my mind 24/7. It's just her.
Well,
so your mind.
Yeah.
Well, for all of us, it's something very special. Yeah. And my belief is, because some people say that love's eternal or believe in eternal love, I believe that love is eternal. And what I mean by that is that we've all felt love for all different types of things. This love for your wife, this love for our kids, this love for a puppy dog, this love for this best friend, this love maybe at a high school sweetheart, and then that's no longer there. The love for the parents that could be there, no longer there. The thing that I believe is that it's eternal, that once that love is struck within us, it lives there, because I think we can all rekindle a love that was once there, something that was there, kids, whatever, things that come, go, and fade. And so the concept about the book is that this love, even though it's there and it may now be as this incredible thing, and then it waves and it embers, the love that some past loves, for instance, as my parents passed away, well, there's that love that's there, but it's eternal, and I will carry that forever. And I feel like that some of our loves, as they travel through within the space and time with us, they might be covered up by some protective ash, I call it. Think of a fire. And think of the incredible energy that's in just a little spark that pops out of a fire.
Yeah.
It can ignite, and it can create all these other fires, and it travels with that eternal energy in there. So that's the concept of the book, of this Love Embers. And where it came from is that my father had passed away, and about 3 months after him passing away, and tossing and turning and having sad memories and whatever, all of a sudden in the middle of the night, in my dreams, I'm speaking to him. And we're having this incredible conversation. All of a sudden I wake up and I realize that he's no longer there. And I laid there and I thought, where did that come from? And I was having this conversation. I said, oh my God, it was kind of like a ember had popped out of the fire. And so I laid there. That's the whole concept. And that became the concept for all of the poems and everything, that this eternal love
cool.
and plugging into this
Feel that.
eternal stream of love. So I'll talk about it in here, that even when I go to sleep now, I don't worry. I'm ready, anxious to go. So maybe I can tap into that stream of eternal love tonight in my dream. And so that's kind of the concept of the story. If you want, I'll read one. We have time
Please,
for a book or a story or not. We'll just go. Where are we?
We got time for a brief poem, Mr. Sisler? Okay,
Well,
good.
all right,
Excellent.
cool.
It's like the thoughts and whatnot.
Well,
That's,
this is this
That's
is
awesome,
that
dude.
poem that starts it. This is the poem called Love Embers. Right, we get to it right here. So there it is. Love Embers. Awaken in the early morning hours, usually by the nightly demands of a shrinking bladder, the curse of a silver-headed old man. Tonight, though, it was my pounding chest. A love ember had rolled out from under the protective ash of fires that burned long ago. Fanned by the winds of a dream, there I was with my high school flame, standing in a moonbeam, hand in hand, cheek to cheek. One night it was 14-year-old me and Grandpa walking along the beach, the only one who understood me in my teenage years. Last night it was me and Dad sitting on a pier, and though he's been gone almost a year, there we were, watching the pelicans making their last dive, our sunset ritual while drinking on a beer. Once again, true feelings burned bright, illuminating the darkness one feels late in life in the middle of the night. My breathing slows as I replay the memories. My eyes grow heavy and the flames subside. Carefully, the ember is replaced. Perhaps another night, one will fall, and the winds of a dream will again fan the flames tall. Love Embers.
No,
That's what that's all
The
about.
thoughts
is
that you
those-
got and collect them, and
Those embers.
I don't know how
Isn't
many
that-
times I felt like I should have written something down, and I'm like, oh, I'll remember that later, and I don't.
yeah,
I just never remember a lyric I thought, or a beat that I thought was really neat, or a rhyme, or
You just
whatever.
rhymed.
Yeah. Or I get too emotional. Hispanics are known to get real
Here we are.
emotional.
Yeah, we
We're
are.
very emotional people. My dad used to cry in commercials. I mean, it didn't take him 30 seconds.
Well, making mine, I'm honored to be here, be a guest.
Yes.
Honored to share the local music, the
That's
local
awesome.
talent. There's so much right here, in our communities. Incredible artists, incredible musicians, incredible farmers, incredible doctors, lawyers, people, podcast guys, you know, I mean,
Foreigners, you know, not
Texas-
anymore. You qualify.
the Texas Tickets just spreads the word about everything that's
Thank you,
happening
sir.
right here in our community. We're very fortunate to have you guys.
Thank you,
And,
sir.
Yeah, I'm
a
glad you
pleasure
came in to
to
visit
share
us
wine with you, stories.
and then share with us your alternate agenda with Texas wines and working in the area and you know, bringing that you know, we want you to come in, you know, the whole chemistry of the environment. It's about making a friend. It's about making a wine and you enjoying it, but building that trust, that
building those relationships.
experience. Yeah, the relationships.
Building
Yeah.
those
Right there.
relationships.
But think about the chances that we talked about apricot jam, apricots, right? He walks in.
with an apricot wine. It's so weird.
Yeah. Everything is meant to be, man. It's like the big dude upstairs.
We went to
It's all
Foss
flowing.
Brewery down
That
there.
energy. It's that energy.
There's a place called Foss here in this square, and we're down there drinking some beer and
Oh,
you know, doing a tasting. You know, we weren't just drinking beer.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an actual tasting, and,
Right.
and he's flighting us out, and he pulls up an apricot beer,
Yeah.
and then he tells me some story about how the water's tested, and it's the same waters they have in Dusseldorf, where this recipe's been made from. And then he chimes in and says his mom's from Dusseldorf.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes,
That's
sir.
what I said. I called total. No, okay. All right, whatever, man. It's not that kind of show. You can just be honest with the people. That's ridiculous. I don't believe you. And I was inundated for a month with his mother calling. I live in Dusseldorf.
And he came in nonsense. He's like, yo, where's Dusseldorf? How do you spell Dusseldorf? Yeah, the odds
So
of
what are the
that.
odds that I would walk into where you're talking about Foss last
Yeah.
Tuesday and we see
Oh
each
yeah,
other?
that's right.
And
You
now we're all
bumped into
Yeah.
each other there.
Yeah.
And they sell an apricot. Well, they
Yeah.
did. They always
yeah.
rotate the thing out.
It's rotated out,
And
yeah.
but he had the water tested to match
Match
the water in
waters
Dusseldorf.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said the water makeup was the same as the town of Dusseldorf, where the theme's the beer.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. That's
Yeah.
And your mom lives there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, does she still live there?
No. She lives here in Huntsville, actually,
But
now.
she
But she
used
lives with
to
us, and then
live
she
in
moved over to
Dusseldorf.
Huntsville. Yeah, but
All of it.
she was born and raised in Dusseldorf, and
We
then they
just
moved
call
to
it
South
his
Africa.
mom's beer, so we're going to go ahead and say, since this is apricot,
Yeah.
that this would be your mom's
Mom's.
well,
drink.
I'll send you a bottle.
Thank you, sir.
Get to your mom for sure.
Heck yeah.
For your
Thank you.
Love
mama.
to share.
My mom.
For your mom.
Mum.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, my mom.
Mom.
But thank you so much, sir, man.
it's our
This is
pleasure.
awesome, man.
Our
Thank
pleasure.
Jerry, thank you for coming on the show.
Oh,
We'll
awesome.
try to give some additions to the calendar today after
Yeah.
we wrap
Right,
up here.
that'd be awesome. Yeah, we've got it all listed on our webpage,
Fabulous. And then the one we made
BernhardtWinery.com.
up, the one we just made up. You know,
Yeah.
getting that Texas-based event out.
I don't make up stuff, dude. I always go into it before because he
crafted
makes up all.
before we got here. you know.
Armando said before I go into a
I
store.
never do that.
Yeah, because I don't make up stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he always
Okay.
quotes me. But anyway, so he can say it's me who said it in case I'm wrong.
Hold on, you talk about coincidental things, right? My mom.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Where did he get that cup?
Cheers, man.
I'll meet you at Fawcett too.
Thank you, sir.
God bless Jerry. We'll see you again soon. We'll probably see you Saturday for the Charcuterie Festival.
Yeah, buddy.
Bernhardt Winery. You can see them in the notes below.
Come out and see us, folks. We'd
Yes,
love to have
sir.
you. Come feel the love, right?
Done.
We'll be back right after this, guys, with the Punch Your Ticket segment of the
Yeah,
Texas
buddy.
Ticket Show.
Cheers.
Welcome back to the Texas Ticket. This is Armando and Hoffie Ferreira.
Yeah, buddy.
What a great show. I really enjoyed Jerry.
Dude, he's awesome, man.
Fun. We're going to do a quick calendar, and then we're going to finish up for today. And remember, you can always find us at facebook.com/txticket. You can also see us online with the Lone Star Radio, LoneStarCommunityRadio.com/Texas Ticket.
That's a mouthful, dude.
Yeah, and they'll all be below here. In the link.
Yeah, I know.
Check Bernhardt.com. What a great
Yep.
group. What a great family. And you heard, you just want to get that love out there, that feeling. And you go there. He's just talking here, but if you go there, you feel it. There's a big difference, talkers and doers.
Huge.
I can feel
difference.
it. I can totally feel it.
Yeah.
But let's get into that schedule. You have the 23rd experience we brought up about the Unplugged event with Jeff Canada.
Yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, let's just go back one step and just talk about Labor Day was phenomenal. Obviously, I mean, you guys did put a lot of work into it, and
We had a lot of fun.
with all the weather and everything, all the adjustments we had to do. Peyton Howie was phenomenal. AJ Santana was phenomenal. Just everybody. Mighty Org.
That was fun. I got a T-shirt.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot for getting me one as well. But no, that's the thing, man. Just want to say thanks a lot for everybody that was involved in it, because sometimes you lose sight, and you said yourself, it's a quick turnaround. We got Jeff Canada actually coming out for the 16th, just to play a set at Breakwater Grill.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yep, and then the 23rd from 7 to 10, we're working on an acoustic set, calling it Walden's Unplugged on Lake Conroe. Texas Unplugged with Jeff Canada and Texas Wines with Bernhardt Winery.
I'm sorry, that's exactly, there's Texas to that, and what is it, steak night or something over there?
Dude, we're gonna come up with something, but the thing is,
Texas
having dinner is phenomenal. Yeah,
big old T-bone. And
done, dude. We're gonna just make sure there's a good show and everything.
Steak night.
Yeah.
But whatever you serve, I know there's going to be some Bernhardt Texas wines there, and there's going to be some acoustic music in the background, and just an atmosphere where you can still talk, you can still get a good slow dance in or a good country dance in.
But do something with your loved one as well, because drop your kids off, see if we can still get some babysitters quickly now, because we're putting it out there now, dude.
23rd.
Yeah, 23rd. Come on.
That's a hugging moment. That's a hand holder.
Yeah. Valentine's it doesn't have to be in February.
Couple skate.
Bam.
Couple skate. Couples only. Couple skate.
Not couple. I know I'm trying to get Dick out there now for the longest time. I'm going to get him out here for this one. It's going to be Valentine's in September.
I'm sure you'll accomplish that.
Anyways,
make Sunday brunch. He got the grand Sunday brunch,
and I missed him for that day, dude.
I know, golly.
But no, we got some cool stuff.
He snuck in though. We like a text message every now and then, and you can see us on the. I think we're going to make an appearance on the Cindy Cochran show. Put that on your calendar.
Yeah, right.
Punch your ticket watching that one. Love the show. Cindy's a good friend, and I can't wait to get a Miss Cochran show. And
what's the Bernhardt event that's coming up?
Bernhardt
tomorrow
has the charcuterie trays on the 10th tomorrow.
Yeah,
Saturday.
Dude,
you go out there and do a charcuterie festival tour, the whole thing, and I say charcuterie, and it's like the bell rings in here every time like Falvura.
Yeah, but I'm a little envious because I can't say charcuterie. So.
Oh, you nailed it. That was good.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, you said it slow and thought it through, and you got comfortable with it.
So what does it mean? Everything else I don't think through, or just go too far?
That's French. Yeah.
Anyways.
I got booed ball.
Yeah.
It's terrible. My French is extremely limited. Not a real multi-purpose.
Dude, but you know what? Labor Day, Bernhardt Winery, cheese board event,
fabulous.
charcuterie board, the Texas Acoustic Unplugged with the
23rd Unplugged on the 10th. You can catch the charcuterie at Bernhardt, and that'll get you all the way through. So many great things coming up for October. Halloween, we got a Voodoo Festival at the lake.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big treat for everybody. Hey, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for always staying with us on the show and all your support. We are looking for sponsors, and you can do so at facebook.com/TXTicket if you'd like to sponsor the program or a segment of the show. We look forward to catching you again next week, Friday at 1 o'clock, right here on the Texas Ticket.
Punch your Texas Ticket, dude.